Jim, what do you make of that tonight?
We're disappointed, obviously, not to have won the game, but at the same time, it's another point on the board. You know, we played some half decent football in the first half and got ourselves into good areas, but we lacked that little bit of quality, I felt, in the final third. The second half, Motherwell were the brighter, I felt. We started the second half really well, had a brilliant opportunity with Beeks, and Motherwell goalkeepers made a really good save, but Motherwell probably just after the hour mark started to put us under a little bit of pressure in terms of set plays. You know, they're quite a direct team, they get the ball forward very early, and yeah, they kind of penned us back for 5 or 10 minutes there, but I thought the boys stood up to everything that they had to throw at them. Yes, we get a little bit of a break of the ball with the one that comes off the post, but other than that, I don't think either goalkeeper has had a great deal to do. And obviously we're disappointed not to have won the game, but at the same time, we're sitting in a really good position at the moment, and if you'd have told me way back at the beginning of October that this would be the situation, then I think we'd have all snapped the hand off it for that.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you would have taken that away back with 3 games to go to the split. It is 4 games unbeaten as well, but frustrating that not managed to kind of get more from these draws.
Yeah, I mean, look, the 4 draws is really disappointing. Tonight I don't think we've done enough to win the game. I think a draw was a fair result. Obviously Motherwell are fighting for their lives as well. They're coming here off the back of 2 really poor performances, conceded 7 goals in their last 2, so we knew that they'd be a bit more organised and a bit more structured, and there wasn't a great deal of space behind them, but from our own point of view, I think when I look back at the Hamilton game, we were well in control, 1-0 up, and we concede a deflected goal, and then again on Saturday, we're well on top prior to Livingston scoring the goal, but it's another own goal, something that unfortunately happens in the game, but those are 2 games I look back on and think, we could have won both of those games. Tonight I don't think it's that case. I think a draw was a fair result. I think a point was merited for both teams. But I think it just shows how far we've come as a group and as a club. Even when I think back to the Aberdeen game up there, conditions were dreadful, 40-50 mile an hour winds, but at the same time we're coming back down the road thinking, we're disappointed not to beat Aberdeen away from home, something that we've not got a great history of doing. Tonight we're disappointed not to beat a team that finished 3rd in the table last year. People will talk about the players they're missing, but you still had a very strong team on the park. Right backs, a Scottish international, Campbell in the middle of the park is a very sought after player by a number of clubs. The front 3 are a real handful, Tony Watt, Devante Cole in particular. So I think we've got to respect the opposition as well sometimes, and when you think back to the whole appeals process where this game was down as a 3-0, the fact that we're standing here with a clean sheet and a point, I think is a positive reflection on the game, albeit we're disappointed that we weren't able to create that one clear-cut opportunity that was going to get us all 3.
How pleased were you to have Jamey and Jake back in the team?
Delighted to have the 2 lads back, yeah, and I think they deserve great credit because they're playing through the pain barrier, but they realise the importance of the situation here, and they're desperate to try and play a part to help us create a little bit of history and be the first team to be in that top 6 after the split, since the Premier League has started. So great credit to those 2. They're only at about 75-80% fitness wise, but for me I think it's a gamble worth taking. They've been 2 fantastic players, and if they're even at that level, 75-80%, I still think it's worth having them in the team. So they'll be a little bit sore, no doubt, and a little bit tender tomorrow, but hopefully we'll get them recovered in time for what's another massive game on Saturday.
Yeah, huge game on Saturday when Ross County come here. What do you make of that game?
Another really difficult game against a team who are fighting for their lives. They had a fantastic result there against Celtic on Sunday night. Celtic had a number of opportunities in the first half. There's no getting away from that, but Ross County dug in there and managed to keep the clean sheet and scored a really well worked set play. So there's no easy games, James. At the end of the day, the next 3 games coming up are against teams that we've already beaten this season. So we don't fear Ross County coming here. We don't fear going to Rangers the following weekend. But at the same time, we need to try and get those 3 points, and we need to try and go for the jugular on Saturday and try and go and get that all important win.
Thanks very much for your time.